I have been using this for a while now, so I figured I would share some thoughts. This is a simple desk meant for studying, working on a laptop, or setting up a small home office. If you are in an apartment, a bedroom, or a dorm-style space where you cannot fit a deep, heavy desk, this one makes sense. It is also for anyone who wants built-in storage without adding a separate drawer unit next to the desk. What made me pick this one was the layout. At a glance, it looks like a clean desk with one centered drawer, but in day-to-day use, the storage situation is more useful than it looks. It is not a huge desk that takes over a room, but it also does not feel like a tiny writing table that barely fits a laptop. In person, the white finish reads as a bright, clean white. It reflects light more than I expected, especially on the top surface. That can look nice in a room with good natural light, but it also means you notice smudges sooner. When I first started using it, I realized pretty quickly that I was going to be wiping it down more often than a matte desk. The upside is that cleaning is easy. A soft cloth and a little wood cleaner gets it back to looking even again without much effort. The top feels smooth, and it has that coated, glossy feel that lets a mouse glide easily and makes it simple to slide a notebook or keyboard around. It does not have the warm texture you get from unfinished wood, so if you like a more natural, tactile surface, this is not that kind of desk. The top has felt solid for what I do on it. I have had a laptop, a monitor, a desk lamp, and stacks of notebooks on it without any sense that it is struggling. The legs are metal, and that is a big part of why the desk feels stable once it is assembled correctly. When I lean my forearms on the front edge while typing, it does not feel like it is going to tip. It is not the kind of heavy, planted desk that feels bolted to the floor, but it also does not feel flimsy. On carpet, it stays put fine. On hard floors, I would put felt pads under the feet if you want to avoid any scuffing when you shift it. The drawer situation is the part I ended up appreciating the most. I originally thought I would just use the center drawer for pens and small items, and that would be it. In real use, having 3 separate drawers changed how I kept the surface clear. I keep the usual small stuff in one drawer, like pens, sticky notes, charging cables, and a spare mouse. Another drawer ends up being for things I want close but not visible, like a notebook, a small folder, or paperwork I am actively working through. The last drawer is where I toss the random desk items that otherwise pile up, like batteries, a tape measure, or spare earbuds. It is not deep storage for bulky gear, but for everyday organization it works. The drawers themselves slide fine, but they are not silent. You can hear them, and they feel more like practical furniture hardware than anything fancy. They do not slam on their own, so I just close them normally. After a while of opening and closing them every day, they have stayed aligned for me, which is what I care about. If you overload them, you will feel it. I would not treat these like file cabinet drawers. They are more for lighter office items. Assembly was straightforward, and that matters because this is the kind of desk people often build alone. The instructions were clear enough that I did not have to guess what went where. The main thing is taking your time to make sure everything is square before you fully tighten it down. If you rush that part, you can end up with a little wobble that is not really the desk's fault. Once I tightened everything properly, it felt consistent. In daily use, the size hits a good middle ground. I can work on a laptop comfortably, and I can also do a laptop plus monitor setup without feeling cramped, as long as I keep the monitor stand reasonable and do not expect a ton of extra space for decor. I have also used it for handwriting, like filling out forms and taking notes, and the surface stays flat and smooth. The front edge has been comfortable enough for longer typing sessions. If you are the kind of person who wants a very deep desk so you can push a monitor far back and still have a big writing area in front, this will feel more compact. For normal work from home tasks and schoolwork, it has been easy to live with. One real scenario I can speak to is cable clutter. With a monitor, a laptop charger, and a phone charger, cords can get messy fast. This desk does not magically manage cables for you, so I had to handle that myself. I used a small set of adhesive cable clips and routed things along the back edge. Once I did that, the desk looked much cleaner, and it was easier to wipe down without snagging cords. If you hate dealing with cables, just know you will be doing a little work there. Another thing I noticed is how the glossy white top interacts with lighting. Under a bright lamp, you can get glare, especially if your monitor is positioned so light bounces off the desk toward your eyes. I adjusted my lamp angle and it was fine, but it is something I did not think about until I was actually working at night. For durability, my experience has been normal and practical. It has held up to everyday use without obvious wear, but the finish is the kind that can show marks if you are rough with it. I try not to drag sharp objects across the surface. If you are someone who tends to toss keys, tools, or heavy metal items on your desk, you will probably want a desk mat to protect the top and keep it looking clean. With normal office use, it has been easy to maintain. Now I need to address something in the script template that does not really apply here. There are no smart features and there is no mobile app. That is not a negative, it is just the reality of what this is. It is a desk. What matters is how it fits your space, how it holds up, and whether the storage and surface area match your routine. Overall, this desk has worked well for me as a simple, tidy workspace with useful drawer storage. I like that it looks clean in a room and does not feel bulky. I like that it stays stable when I am actually working. I like that the drawers let me keep the surface clear, so I am not constantly moving piles of stuff around. The limitations are also clear. The glossy surface shows fingerprints and glare more than I expected. The drawers are practical but not fancy, and they are not meant for heavy loads. Cable management is on you. If those trade-offs sound fine for your setup, it is an easy desk to live with, and it does what I need it to do day after day. To learn more about the Tvilum Desk White, please check the comments section. Thank you for watching.